I'm Yoko, and I'm starting a thing that was inspired by Oliver's Antics series, where he talks about his OCs in their own little spotlight type videos. Because I have so many OCs, and I really want to ramble about my babies, not limited to the ones that are cats. I'll be starting with my Danganronpa characters since they're in a comic I'm making, which I link in every video description, I just don't really talk about it. But I'll get into that in a second. Before that, quick disclaimer. The Danganronpa series is meant for a typically older audience and contains themes of sensitive topics, not limited to murder, that are not suitable for everyone. I'll go into more detail about what exactly that is, but first up, I just want to introduce this character. This is Yoshio Matsu. He's the main character of my comic Despair Emporium, and the day this is going up is actually his birthday. Starting now, over the next year, I'm planning on going through the 16 characters in this series on each of their birthdays. Wish me luck. And side note, there will be 2 drawings that I made for this video that are going on in the background. The first is a quick doodle of him in the attempted Danganronpa official art style, but it's not the best, and I've done better. And the second is my normal style. I also have previous art that I've made of him in the background as well, just so you can get a good look at what exactly he looks like. But before actually getting into him, let's quickly go over what Danganronpa is in general, so you guys have an idea. Danganronpa is a video game series with some anime seasons as well. Side note, I recommend playing or watching the first game instead of the anime version, it's really rushed. The basic plot of anything in the Danganronpa series is that there are a group of students that all have a special thing that they are considered the best at, and then they're invited to a school called Hope's Peak Academy, where that thing is now referred to as their ultimate talent. Yoshio here, for example, is the ultimate journalist. However, this series is really all about those students who were supposed to join the school being forced into a situation where they are trapped somewhere, and they're told the only way of escaping is if they kill another student and don't get found out during a trial. If they succeed in that, they will then be able to leave, but every other student will be killed instead. There's typically also always a mastermind within the group of students, and a robotic bear creature known as Monokuma, which usually makes things go according to these plans by providing rules and murder motives and anything like that. The games are basically a murder mystery genre where you have to solve the students' deaths and find out who trapped you there and why. Also, the blood is bright pink, and I love the stylization, it's very fun. And that is a bare minimum description of Danganronpa. There are a lot of fan projects that take this formula and make their own characters and stories, my Despair Emporium comic being only one of them. And I started developing this comic way back in like 2017 or 2018, I can't remember exactly, when I was still on Amino. Boy, that was a long time ago. The comic has since moved to Instagram with the inspiration from other fan Insta-rompas that I saw that I need to catch up with because I am very behind and I feel bad. And side note, you have to scroll down to the bottom of the actual Instagram page to get to the start of the comic. I haven't been as active updating this as I would like to be, but I really want to change that as I would love to actually finish this one day. As of right now, I'm at the end of chapter 2 out of a planned 6-ish chapters, so you know. I'm really trying to figure out that balance of comic update, YouTube update, other art stuff I do in general, etc. But in general, the comic follows the main Danganronpa formula and the characters being trapped in a mall-like setting in this scenario. Now let's finally talk about Yoshio a bit. Yoshio is the main character of the comic, but he's more of a point of view character. His birthday is June 2nd, which makes him a Gemini for anyone interested in that. Also, happy Pride Month, forgot to say that in the beginning of the video. He's pansexual. Also, my Despair Emporium characters are basically the only ones I actually have with birthdays. I had to fill out that thing that every Danganronpa character has where it has like birthday, height, stuff like that. Yoshio is analytical and typically optimistic and friendly to everyone. He tries to be a peacekeeper and he keeps a mentality of hope for the best but be prepared for the worst. As the ultimate journalist, he's always writing down information in a notebook that was provided to him from the start of the imprisonment. Such information including anything new about the situation that they learn, anything about the spaces they gain access to that could be potentially important for possible escape. And in the event of any murders occurring, he also writes down any evidence that could lead towards the killer. For anyone already familiar with the Danganronpa series, that's how I integrated the truth bullet system. In general, Yoshio is a very basic protagonist because I wanted a simple point of view who had a reason to be over-analytical and actually be one of the people that others turn to for answers and recapping the cases and stuff. Danganronpa already has had ultimate detectives, and while talents can repeat, I went with journalist. I kept him friendly so the other students would trust him, unlike a certain other character in the comic who potentially could have been a main character, but he's spicy. We'll get to him later in a different video. Minor spoilers for the comic or information learned from free time events upcoming, but nothing major like character deaths. Oh, and for anyone that doesn't know what free time events are, they're basically side stuff you can do in Danganronpa to get closer to certain characters. But we have learned Yoshio's family consists of his grandma, little brother, dog, and mom, who is a lawyer. She often is busy, so he's usually at home with his grandma and brother. It's also been revealed that his dad walked out on them. Yoshio got into journalist stuff because he liked collecting information to share with his grandma, who doesn't leave the house often. Also, his dog's name is Mochi, and he is a Japanese Spitz/Pomeranian mix with a bleep tongue. And I love him, and yes, he does show up in the actual comic. But into some sadder stuff. After the deaths of some of the students, Yoshio is affected badly, but doesn't let it show to others. He had locked himself in his room trying to write down everything about them to preserve their memory in some way, only snapping out of it when someone came to tell him that there were new areas waiting for them to explore. While Yoshio is pretty happy and positive, he feels a duty to record everything about the situation. He's trying to make sure the information isn't lost, even if he might be at one point. And before we get to the end, I'm going to go into a little bit of the design and character creation process that the 17-year-old me did when making Yoshio. First off, his general color palette came from the sunset colors like oranges, reds, purples, etc. that I desaturated and messed with a bit. No real reason, I just thought it looked nice. Every main character of Danganronpa has a pointy hairpiece that sticks up, which is called an ahoge, if you didn't know. So I gave him one that was rounded in the shape of a backwards question mark. I also gave him a bag that he can keep his journal on hand easily with. Name-wise, I think I picked his last name Matsu randomly, but I found the name-meaning website that made me pick Yoshio for his first name. I have no idea how accurate this is. I am a simple American, but this says that the name means justice, righteousness, and morality when written with this kanji, which I thought was very fitting for a Danganronpa protagonist. Again, I could be wrong, just going into my process of actually picking his name. And with that said, this is going to be a shorter video. Admittedly, Yoshio doesn't have as much going for him compared to other characters, but he's important as our main character we follow. I'm excited to start this series, and I'll see you towards the end of this month on another character's birthday. Over the course of the next year, I really hope to get the rest of the 15 characters out on time. It's fine if these videos flop. I have a lot of fun when I'm making these and just rambling about my babies. Doing this series on the channel also inspires me to try to get weekly updates on Despair Emporium going again. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the video if you did, and I'd appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Despair Emporium's Instagram is linked below my main one in the description, along with my channel Discord. My commissions are open if you'd like to support me that way. This was originally planned as a bonus video this week, but I'm a little behind schedule and had to do some moving around. So there will be no video this Sunday, and I'll be back with a new video in about a week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace!